Hey YouTube, it's Vinny again with another cap of the week, and this week we're going to go into the holy grail of caps. It's probably the most rare cap I have in my collection. It's a vintage 1970s Brooklyn Dodgers cap. And while it looks like a normal cap, you've probably seen this before. It's kind of got the almost looks like a Boston Red Sox cap if you're not familiar with the old Brooklyn logo. This cap, it's the manufacturer of the cap that's pretty awesome. So this cap is actually made by the KM Pro company, which went out of business in 1976. And so at least it's a minimum of 39 years old. So it's definitely one of the older ones in my collection. And my date of this cap is somewhere from 1969 to 1976. When I bought the cap from eBay, the collector had told me that this cap was a game issued for a old-timers game, so it must have been used by the Los Angeles Dodgers or possibly the Mets or Yankees in an old-timers game. And so this cap has not been worn. It was game issued, so it was made for players, but was never worn. So anyway, let's get into it. This is a classic Dodger blue with the Brooklyn logo, which actually, this isn't the logo that Jackie Robinson wore on the field in 1947. This B logo was actually modified in the 50s, and this became the classic look today that's licensed to New Era, Twins, 47, any hat maker. They typically will use this B logo, which is almost like the Boston Red Sox logo. Anyway, it's beautiful. It's 100% wool, and you see here no Batterman logo, of course. Now, what's underneath the cap that's pretty awesome. And you'll see the classic Kelly green visor. But what's awesome are two things. One, you probably are going to notice the piece of cardboard that's there to keep the cap shape. Now this is something, if you can see it here, KM Pro, Major League Baseball. So that logo came out in 1969. So somewhere between 69 and 76, once again, is when this cap was made. KM Pro Cap Company, 31 Beach Street, Boston, Massachusetts. This insert's only to keep your cap in shape while in stock. Please remove before wearing. Now this is a cap that I actually don't wear, although it isn't my size. I just think it's too beautiful to even wear outside. The leather, though, is amazing. If you've seen one of my previous videos on the Roman Pro Company, they make great caps, but the leather was really hard. It was kind of like a cheap leather. This seems to be a really good leather, like really soft leather. I'm not sure if you can see in there, but this leather is really soft to the touch. It's something I'm sure the players enjoyed wearing. I'm sure this is a cap that met the approval of players. And this is the days where these caps weren't mass marketed, so you really need to know someone to get in there. And you see once again here, KM Pro, water repellent, 100% wool, Boston, Massachusetts. And even the size, it's a little different. We've seen hang tags for the size, but this time the size is actually branded on here. So it's kind of like a dark branding, KM Pro cap, size 7, and it has a sweat liner that goes around the rim. And it's really a well-made cap. I can see why, when they were in business, they must have gotten a lot. I've seen New York Yankees caps, Montreal Expos caps, many teams I've seen on eBay of game-used caps. Usually, whenever you go on eBay and you search KM Pro or KM Cap, you'll usually see caps come up, but they're almost always expensive. You're really gonna have to, fork over an arm and a leg to afford a cap. But if you're really into these caps, and if you're lucky enough to get one that's a new cap, that's one that you can wear, I would say do it. The quality is second to none. This is also unique capping. This is a Brooklyn Dodgers cap for old-timers games, so not many people are going to have this by KM Pro. So once again, this is not a cap that was made before 1957. Otherwise, I'd be pretty rich right now to sell the cap. But this is a pretty unique cap, and I hope you enjoy it. So anyway, tune in next week for the next cap of the week. See ya.